Hello, this is Khush, your local realtor, and today we will compare different levels of investment. Let's assume you have a few $100,000 to invest. You're thinking, should you buy a brand new condo or should you buy a townhouse, a detached house? We'll compare everything from the worst investment property possible to the property which will generate you the highest return on investment. Let's go. Quick disclaimer, if you're buying the property to live in yourself as a principal residence, there's two things you're buying: a home to live in and an investment vehicle. For the home side of the purchase, you should not be asking me, you should not be asking anyone else where you should be living. You decide if you want to live in the beach, buy in Kitsilano, buy in White Rock. If you want a yard, buy in Surrey, buy in Langley, Maple Ridge. But this video is strictly for investment purposes. Yes, it could be a principal residence, but we're only going to talk about the investment part of the purchase. And by investment, of course, I mean what sort of ROI or return on investment you can expect with whatever amount of down you put. Of course, you will expect some sort of return in the next 5 to 10 years. So we'll only focus on the investment part. And today I will talk about 10 different types of asset classes. Let's start with the worst investment property that you can buy with your money. That is a brand new condo. The reason is developers have to make money. They take a huge risk, and with huge risk comes huge rewards. So a brand new condo is already marked up at the highest possible price anyone in the world will pay in today's market. So there is no way you can get a deal in a pre-sale or a brand new condo. And on the 9th place would be a older condo with a bigger floor plan. Much more livable than a shoebox, what they call nowadays, to brand new pre-sale condos, which are usually one bedrooms are like 350, 400 square feet, two bedrooms are like 600, 700 square feet. But if you get a 10, 20-year-old condo, you could easily get a one bedroom for like a standard 550, 600 square feet, and of course a two bedroom for like 900, 1,000 square feet. Those usually appreciate much more than a pre-sale brand new condo. Yes, your living standard might be slightly better in a brand new condo, but if you live in a smaller condo, you'll realize the newness is not as important as the size. So the older condos, which again, don't buy a tiny old condo, buy a bigger old condo, they usually appreciate not a lot more than the brand new condo, but at least a little more. I'd say like 5 to 10% more over like 10 years than the brand new condos. And in the 8th place comes townhouses, specifically 3-bedroom townhouses. Do not buy a 2-bedroom townhouse if possible. I'd rather just buy a 2-bedroom condo on a high rise with a view at least than buying a 2-bedroom townhouse. If possible, if the pocket allows, buy a 3-bedroom townhouse. They usually appreciate a little more than a condo typically, just based on the sole reason that there's a lot of condos in, let's say, Greater Vancouver area, and they're making a lot more condos as well. They're not making as many missing middle or the townhouses, or even like half duplexes. Less supply, more demand, more appreciation. Just based on this simple fact, townhouses, specifically 3-bedroom, they usually appreciate a little more than condos. And on the 7th place comes detached houses. Yes, the next 6 are also detached houses, but the one that I'm talking about specifically on number 7 is a detached house on a tiny 2,500 square feet, 3,000 square foot lot, and typically like a 1999 build, 2003 build, like a 25-year-old house in Maple Ridge, in Albion, or anywhere in Surrey, anywhere in Port Coquitlam, doesn't matter where. A tiny lot, an okay size house, like 2,000 square foot house, not too small, not too big. That comes on the 7th place. They do not appreciate as much as the bigger lots, of course, because dirt is where the money is. Try to buy a bigger lot if possible, but of course money is a big issue, especially in the lower mainland where land is so expensive. But at least they're better than townhouse. So if you have the money, if you can go over the $1 million budget, try to at least get the tiny lot if possible. They usually appreciate more than the townhouse, especially the ones that have a basement suite. There's some in Albion, I know they usually sell for like $1 million, $1,050,000. They have a basement suite. In Surrey, they're like 1.25, 1.3. They have a basement suite as well. So those will definitely appreciate more than townhouse, and your monthly mortgage will be similar to the same exact 900, 800, 850K townhouse buying versus buying a $1.1 million smaller lot, smaller house with a basement suite. And on the sixth place comes detached ranchers on bigger lots. So if you have the option of buying a house, there's let's say two houses, one with a smaller lot, but a newer, let's say 20-year-old house, or a 1970s built typical rancher on a bigger 7,000 square foot lot in Surrey, or 10,000 Brookswood, Langley, or a standard 4,000 square foot lot in Vancouver, I would personally, if the pocket allows, if the bedrooms are okay for your family size, try to get the rancher with a bigger lot than a tiny lot but a newer house. Doesn't matter, yes, your maintenance might be a little higher on an older house, but at least you have the land. The money that you will make over the long term, let's say 5-10 years you hold, the land will appreciate a lot more, and the tiny house, if anything, the structure will depreciate. So 10-20 years from now, it doesn't really matter. The rancher with the bigger lot will appreciate a lot more than the tiny lot newer house. Okay, on the fifth place and right in the middle is a detached house with a suite on a standard or a bigger lot. A standard would be again 4,000 square feet in Vancouver, 6,600 square feet in Delta, 7,200 square feet in Surrey, or 10,000 square feet in Brookswood or Langley. If again, it all depends. Can you even afford it? Do you have the down payment? Depends. But if you can, of course, rather than getting a $1.1, $1.2 million rancher, of course, get a $1.3 million detached house with a suite. At the end of the day, it all comes down to how many potential buyers there are for your property in the future whenever you get to resell it. Ranchers have a really hard time selling in a slower market. Houses with a suite, they sell like hotcakes. Doesn't matter what the market is doing, of course, as long as it's reasonably priced, of course. In Surrey, you can easily get a detached house, 7,200 square feet rectangular lot, 60 frontage, 120 depth, flat lot for 1.3, 1.33, 1.35, depending on the area. But the ranchers are starting from like 1.2. So just for 100K more, you can get a suite. And of course, your monthly payments will be a lot lesser than just a rancher. It's a no-brainer. Just get the one with the suite, as long as you have the extra down payment and you could get the extra loan amount from the bank. And on the fourth place comes a detached house, bigger lot with two basement suites, or a basement suite and a coach home. Yes, you would need to qualify again for a bigger mortgage. You'll need a bigger down payment, not a lot more down payment, usually like 50, 60, 70,000 more. But you could get a house with two suites. Your monthly mortgage will be a lot lower than just getting a house with like a rancher, or even like with one suite. Your payments will be like $1,000 to like $1,500 cheaper, even by spending more money. Of course, it makes sense. You spend more money, your payment should be lower, but it's a pretty big difference, and they sell really quick in the future as well. So you just want more buyers whenever you get to resell, and they appreciate a lot more than a house without a suite or with one suite. So always get, if possible, of course, if the pocket allows, a house with two basement suites, or a suite and a coach home. And on the third place would be a detached house with a townhouse OCP zoning. So zoning is really important. Most houses that you buy are in single family normal zoning, and even the ones which are in townhouse zoning are not actually townhouse zoned. They are in the OCP, which states that yes, the city wants to see a townhouse development on that lot. It's fairly easy to find the ones that are in the OCP of townhouse or ground oriented residential development, but those ones appreciate the most. There's the big it's sort of like a jackpot. Like it's not like guaranteed. That's one very important thing. Just because it is in a townhouse zoning doesn't mean that yes, it's super easy. You'll one day a developer will come knocking on your door and you'll be given like $1 million more than what you paid for initially whenever you bought it. yes, that's a possibility. Not $1 million more, but like something like 400-500K more in like 3-4 years. But getting a land assembly is where the money is at. Let's say you buy a house with the townhouse OCP zoning. You talk to 3-4 of your neighbors. If they all agree to sell as a land package deal, developers are hungry for these types of properties, and they pay you a lot more than a typical whatever you'll get for your house, as a normal single family house. So if possible, try to make sure that it is in some sort of a ground oriented development OCP. Again, of course, if you don't know, then of course ask me. I'll let you know if there is some sort of development potential. And in the next videos that will be coming up, I'll show you exactly how to find the townhouse zoning or the OCP, and how to look for any development potential. So please subscribe if you would like to be kept in the loop. And on number 2 is my personal favorite, finding a property with subdivision potential. I've already made a video on how to find a property with subdivision potential. Look in my past videos and you'll find the I think it's the first video or the second video. Finding a subdividable property is like finding a gold mine, but it's not as glamorous as it seems on the forefront. People think, let's say you buy a property for, let's just say 1.5. In the back of the people's mind, it's like, I'm going to buy it for 1.5. I'm going to subdivide it into 2 lots, and I'm going to sell each lot for 1.1, and I'm going to make 2.2 minus 1.5 what they paid, so $700,000 in like 1 year. And that's not the realistic picture. So yes, you make money. Yes, it's a good amount, but it's not as crazy as like $700,000 in like 1 year. The city costs, the DCCs, the service upgrades, it costs a lot of money. Depends on municipality to municipality. Port Coquitlam, I've heard, is like 100K per lot, or 150 nowadays. Surrey used to be 150, but now it's like $200,000 per lot. So let's say you're subdividing one lot into 2 lots, that's like $400,000 that you have to pay. That has to be cash. So 1.5 suddenly turns into 1.9. So maybe yes, you can still sell the 2 lots for like 2.2. So you'll still make like $200,000 after all the expenses and stuff. It's still a good investment. It's just not like $500,000 or $1 million. It's not in the millions. Yes, it could get in the millions if you're subdividing and building the houses and then selling in the future. Or yes, if the potential is to subdivide into 3 lots, then yes, the numbers make more sense. But just finding a subdividable lot, honestly, just get the subdividable lot, get the PLA, just get the city's approval that yes, it could be subdivided, and then just sell the lot with the PLA without even spending the $400,000 to get the services upgraded. And there's a lot of developers who would take the PLA to the next stages. Of course, you would not get 200,000, but you might just get 100,000 extra. That's still a lot of money to be making in like 1 year. And on the number 1 of our list of buying the best property with the best ROI is, drumroll, is buying a property with an apartment OCP. So similar to townhouse zoning or townhouse OCP zoning, there's also something called apartment zoning, or they could be anywhere from low-rise 4 stories, 6 stories, mid-rise 8 stories, 12 stories, to high-rise buildings as well, 40, 50 stories. Depends on the location. It's very complicated, but it's doable. A lot of people make this is like true jackpot, but of course nothing's guaranteed. You could be buying a lot in the apartment OCP. Of course, the main problem is the cities, they're not gonna let you build an apartment building on like a 6,000 square foot lot. It has to be land assembled for sure, unless you're buying like a half-acre lot. That's a different story. But in today's video, we're only thinking about that you're buying like a 1.5, 1.6 max property in like anywhere in the Fraser Valley. Buying a property with apartment OCP, if you can get your neighbors and you can do a land assembly, that's like gold mine. That's like almost like a guaranteed win. Of course, nothing's guaranteed in real estate, but that's just like it will increase the chances of you hitting the jackpot by a lot. Of course, if your neighbors don't agree, you could still put your specific lot on the market again, just your part, not the land assembly. Let's say you bought it at 1.4, 1.5, you could put it at 2 million. Yes, someone could be crazy enough to pay 2 million for like a standard lot anywhere, as long as it's in the apartment OCP. But I've seen like dozens and dozens of these lots that they start at 2 million, 1.6, 1.5, 1.4. They end up selling at 1.4. So I would say get a lot with an apartment OCP zoning, but never be in the desperate situation of selling the lot at the lower market value. So these lots, they will sell. It's just they sometimes take like a year, 2, 3 years to sell. So get an apartment OCP zoned lot. Try with your neighbors. If it works, perfect, it will sell quicker. But if you cannot, then just put it on the market at a higher price. Someday someone will pay the higher price and you will make a lot of money. So that's the number one. Yes, there's of course risks involved. You are spending a lot more money. Let's say a standard house is like 1.3 in, this is Port Coquitlam, Langley, Surrey, Delta. But these apartment OCP zoning ones usually sell for 1.5 to 1.8, or well, of course, a lot more as well. But you're not paying the $2 million. You're paying the cheaper right now, and then hopefully in the future you sell at the higher $2 million price. So that's the risk involved. You don't know when it will sell. But if you can hold onto the property and you're okay with the negative cash flow every month, then these are the ones where people make the most amount of money. Okay, that was it. That was your 10 best investment properties that you could buy anywhere in the lower mainland. I am not a newbie. I have been doing this for many years. I personally am developing some lots. I'm subdividing lots. Ask me any questions that you have. Let me know if you are eyeing on a property that you would like to buy and you would like to know if there's any development potential. Let me know if you're in the market to buy or sell anywhere from North Vancouver all the way up to Chilliwack. I work everywhere and I pretty much know all the numbers off the top of my head, all the zoning, bylaws, everything. Just let me know what you're looking for or if you're looking to sell, and we'll go from there.